So when it comes to what is a community of interest, we can use the data and identify it, but really the definition of a community of interest or a neighborhood is whatever the people who live there say is their neighborhood. So it could be a school attendance area, it could be a neighborhood around a park, it could be an area between major roads. All these things are legitimate considerations when defining what is your community of interest. Or it could be getting into the data, a neighborhood where there's more Spanish speakers at home, that kind of thing. And there are two questions. In districting and redistricting, we talk all about communities of interest, but we often forget the second question, which is, does a community want to be kept together so that they have the maximum political power or maximum voting strength in one district and are most likely to elect one person from their community? Or do they want to be divided so that they actually have multiple council members answering to their neighborhood? It obviously lowers their voting strength in each of those districts, but gives them a voice in multiple districts. This comes up most often in schools, where they intentionally divide up the school attendance zones so that no trustee feels like they own a school. You don't want trustees calling the principal and saying, hey, you're my school. So they will often draw some funding lines for school districts in order to make sure that 2 or even 3 school board members represent every school, or at least represent the kids who go there. Downtown areas are another example. We talk a lot about Pasadena. The city of Pasadena intentionally drew all their council districts to touch Colorado and the Old Town development, so that each council member would feel a stake in that development. So there, they defined downtown as a community of interest, and then they respected it by making sure every council member had a stake in it. So these are the kinds of things that come up. One is, what is your community of interest? 2 is, do you want to be kept together in one seat, where you might dominate that one district, but it's still only 1 of 5 votes? Or do you want multiple representatives on the council? So it's an important second question. Well, there's a 1-page map. We've created these little population units. We draw them. They're actually combinations of census blocks. So they're bigger than a census block, but they're smaller than a census tract or block group, because we're trying to balance giving flexibility to draw the map that the person wants to draw with not having to add too many numbers up by hand, essentially. So the numbers in here are the total population of each of these small neighborhoods. And each district, you draw it until you get to between 9,500 and 10,500 people. And people can draw just their community. They can draw just their neighborhood and forget the numbers. Just say, here's my community of interest. We'd like to be kept together. They can draw just their district. You don't have to draw a full map. You can say this is the district that should be drawn here. Or they can draw a full map and send it in for consideration. I should note that on our computers, we have much more fine-tuned data. So if people do want to divide, you're not locked in with these lines. So someone can write a note saying, put this area together, but split this one along this road. It is best if they mention the road so that we're actually sure there's a border there. So this is designed for usability. It's not designed to be a straitjacket, essentially. So this is the basic one. It's just 1 page. It's got all the information on it, and it'll be on the city website.